Hey, what's going on, everyone? Before y'all check out this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button down at the bottom. We appreciate y'all for always showing us love and support. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode of Unfiltered Brothers, and make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Y'all stay blessed.
And welcome back to another episode of Unfiltered Brothers. Here you have your boy Derek. There you have your boy Joe.
Yo.
And before I even tell you who our special guest is, it is still Mental Health Awareness Month, and so we pretty much just wanted to have a episode, pretty much bringing awareness of mental health around. Uh, and I was trying to think like who would be the best person we could have this conversation to. So I hit up some of my connects, and they was telling me that they had a boy who was getting his PhD in psychology. So I was like, yeah, say less. That's who I want on the episode. So we have my man Vinny here with us for this episode. What's good, bro?
What's going on, man?
And not much, man. For our listeners, what you tell a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your background.
Yeah. So I'm from Buckingham County originally. Graduated from Buckingham County High School. I ended up going to Liberty. I was athletics at Liberty. I got my bachelor's in sport management. I got my master's in psychology, and then I'm working on my PhD in psychology there as well. And I currently work at the Virginia Baptist Hospital, which is a mental health institution. And I do therapies, do group sessions. I also provide some coaching to some individuals as well. So it's pretty smooth.
That's what's up.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what's up. How long you got left for your PhD?
I got a year and a half left. So
let's go.
That's what's good, man.
Far to go.
How you enjoying that?
I'm enjoying it.
Is the work crazier than your masters, or like?
Honestly, I felt like my master's was harder.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like the master's is way harder. I feel like, with a doctor, you write about what you want to write about more so, and then your research is, everything is based on you, what you're interested in and everything like that, compared to the master's where they give you a topic.
Facts. That's true, especially with the dissertation and everything like that. Yup.
Yes, sir.
Figure that. So what made you?
Oh, you're ready to say question. No, go ahead. Ask. You want to say question?
Yeah, probably like what made you get into that field? Like, like where did that passion come from?
Yeah. So like, excuse me. What got me into the field was just like I always, even when I was in like sport management, even when I was with athletics, it stuck out to me. I was like, dang, you think about it, like, you what you really think, like, you know what I mean? Your brain makes up so much of what you do and why you do it. You know what I mean? I used to always wonder why people do certain things, why why people react a certain way to, certain things. And even with athletics, I used to be like, you think about it, you were like a robot. You went to workouts, you went to practices, you had games, stuff like that. And you know what I mean? Like you're like programmed, so to say, you know what I mean? And even with military personnel, they go through training, go through rigorous, classroom activities and stuff like that. And then once they get in the field, they're like trained to go, you know what I mean?
Right.
So even that, and then even mental health in our community, it always stuck out to me. I always wondered, you know what I mean? What more, could I offer to our community? What more information is lacking, that we didn't receive.
Got you. That's what's up, man. You definitely the mind is an interesting thing to study.
Right.
Yeah, facts. For real. It was crazy because I was doing I was doing some soul searching, all that stuff as to like why like I wasn't motivated and stuff like that. Get dive into the mind and stuff like that. They'll tell you like, the mind will make you. This was the craziest thing I heard. Like it will make you do stuff. Like it likes for you to do the same thing every day because it eliminates the danger aspects around you because of the unknown.
I read about
so
that.
people get into routines and habits and stuff, and they do like the same thing every day because it makes like the brain happy in the end. And that's why like people have a hard time venturing out and doing. Some people have a hard time venturing out and doing things because they so used to like doing the same thing, and the brain is like, hey man, hold on, before you go out here and try something different, you don't know what's gonna happen. So it's just crazy when I was like looking into it and thinking, I was like, damn, like your brain really do be controlling you like subconsciously. Like it's like you think you in control, but you really not at the end of the day. Like your brain like, nah, bro. Like I control what's going on over here.
Yeah,
Right.
it's just like the examples our parents gave when we was younger. How they tell you like don't don't touch the stove or don't because it's hot.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't register in your brain until you actually touch that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And once you touch it, you like, oh, I ain't like
Yeah.
from now on, not to touch that anymore
Right.
because it register in your brain. What I'm
Right.
saying, from that experience. But yeah, it's definitely interesting to talk about. But before we get too deep in this conversation, I want to ask you fellas a question. What would you do? So the question is, so what if your girl or fiance
Man, God damn. Can we always
be
gotta
quiet.
include our women, man? God.
What if your girl or fiance committed like a small crime, like a misdemeanor crime or whatever that you didn't know about, right?
Mm.
There's no description of the person, but they have video of your car.
Oh man.
Cops come to your house, and your girl or fiance tell you, why they're there, and they are scared to go to jail. Cops come and arrest you because the car is registered in your car. I mean, in your name. What would you do?
Straight up. Straight up. Easy. Easy. They're gonna call me Ratatouille. Easily.
Hey, getting her out of
No,
there.
you
Got it.
snitching, dog. What? That's foul, bro. Nah. You
My
know
car.
what?
Oh yeah, she out of there. At least tell me, you know what I mean? At least tell me, what you up to or something, you know what I mean? So they gonna come out, nah.
What you
They just
doing,
don't.
Joe?
They just don't make real niggas like they used to, bro. They don't
Hey,
make real ones like they used to. But I
Hey,
never said I was a real nigga, dog. I'm
hey, listen.
snitching. Hey,
Hey, listen. I already did a no cap on that. We know the
hey,
real niggas out here.
hey, bro. I'm gonna tell you right
uh,
now. Instant snitch. Don't
I'm
no
out.
debate.
Told you,
Like,
I'm out.
hey, I'm gonna get up in there. They're gonna be like, sir, I am already telling you the only person other than me that drives that car was that girl y'all left in my crib. Now y'all
Mm-hmm.
done gave her a head start. So y'all might want to get on that. Sir, you've been with her for 3-4 years. And she
So,
about to do 3-4 years. Go
Mm-hmm.
get her.
Oh,
look, be like, hey, that ain't nothing. You could do that time in no
yeah.
time. You won't
I'll be
even
here
know
waiting
you're
on you.
in there.
So I'll be here waiting on you. Hey,
Facts. I'll hold you down.
I'm not.
Look, I'll be your papoose.
I'll put money on the commentary.
I'm not. I got locked up for some shit you don't did, and you couldn't even tell
Getting
Mm-hmm.
out of there, huh? Damn. Nah, I
me.
feel you. I do the same
Because
shit.
to me, I'm like, what else you done did behind my back that ain't been caught? You know?
Right.
You probably don't rob this old lady down the street. That's why she's looking at my car funny every time I drive by. I thought she was racist. But you don't pull up on it and robbed her.
Mm-hmm.
See, I can't trust you.
Oh, that's funny. Nah, yeah, I'll get out there too. Cause I ain't got time
Oh,
for it. I ain't
no,
built
off
for
the
jail.
rip.
I'm gonna tell y'all that now. I
Oh,
ain't
me
built.
either.
I ain't built for it.
Hey man, nah, I'm too pretty to go to jail, man.
You ugly. Shut up.
Man, see, that's spoken like a true hater. Look at that boy.
Call it what you want.
When I get up in there, they're gonna be like, they were like, oh, he got curls. That's the first thing
Look,
I'm like, no, no, no.
I know.
Hey, 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 just be ready to submit in there. That's all I'm
Hey,
saying.
I know
Who?
y'all. I know Shawshank Redemption. I'm gonna be like Andy Dufresne. I'm getting everybody out that joint.
Nah, man, I couldn't do it, bro. I could. If they told me the day tomorrow that I was getting locked up, bro, I just couldn't do it. I honestly might like try my hardest to run. I don't know if I'm built for suicide, but I might try my hardest to escape across the border. Like I'm not holding you. I'm
That's too much for just a misdemeanor though, bro.
well. First of all, I won't go correct you because it was your question, but a misdemeanor ain't as serious as a felony. I was gonna let you have it though.
That's why I say a
Nigga.
small crime.
No, but I got jail time, nigga. No, man.
My job,
You could do 6 months.
6 months.
my job find out. Or be sitting in the house with no job or be in jail.
Bro.
Yeah.
And I just got this job. I'm supposed to send people to jail, not get locked up. Like, golly, bro. Like, no, I couldn't.
I understand. Yeah, I couldn't do it either.
And then people that I don't put up in there for fraud, they're gonna be like, hey, you that dude. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
Come on me.
So your caseload crazy right now, huh? That PPP going crazy out here in these streets.
So ironically, we can't talk about too much. But ironically, social services doesn't handle the PPP loan. But for some odd reason, people still call me, tell me about fraud. They got a website out about that. Like who has it. So people call me and they'll be like, such and such is on PPP. I'm like, sir, ma'am, I can't do what you want me to do. Like you want me, this is on a federal level. Like this has nothing to do with me. But I'll be just jotting it down. Yeah, all right. Okay. Because some of them do be on benefits, but that don't mean nothing to me. Like,
right. It's like that. But we gonna go ahead and transition to some main topics for this episode. Once again, it is still Mental Health Awareness Month, so we definitely want y'all, take the things we talk about into consideration. Be mindful of the choices you all make out here that affects your mental health, and just kind of like develop like that self-care routine so y'all can have. It's definitely important. So just getting things started. I come to you, Vinny. Like,
Sure.
what are some of the things, because you are studying, so what are some of the things that affect your mental health and causes depression?
Yeah. So I'll say number one, like just even out of the textbook, it's nowhere in the textbook because the textbooks are older.
Yeah.
But so I'll say number one, social media. You know what I mean? Like social, and that's something that I always see on a daily. Social media. I'll say, other things like trauma, childhood trauma from when you're an adult. You know what I mean? The brain structure can even contribute to it. You know what I mean? You have an individual that had a whole bunch of concussions or something like that. Like their brain structure is differently. Neurotransmitters fire differently. You just think differently. Family history. You know what I mean? If you, even that's in research, you have family like say endocrine issues and stuff like that where you don't have the same your hormones are imbalanced, you're gonna you may face some of the depression symptoms and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Drug use. I mean, all right, I had people I graduated like even say they just smoking weed every day. You see it as okay, weed is a plant, it's not a drug, but at the same time, a drug is anything that alters your brain, and you smoke every day. My thing is, you have a normal state, like me and you, like all of us are in right now. We smoke, an hour later, we're not thinking the same. We're not, you know what I mean? It's just your environment is just totally different. You know what I mean? Like your brain space is different. You know what I mean? And I understand, like, all right, smoking like, once a day, then once tomorrow, twice a day, or whatever. But you got people that just chain smoke. You know what I mean? To where it's just like, dang, are you ever sober? You know what I mean? And you also have other mental, other medical conditions. You know what I mean? Like I said, like hypergonadism, where it's like you have issues with like your pineal gland, I just went blank. Your thyroid, and you know what I mean? Just a hormone imbalance where your brain can't really compensate. So you have those issues.
Yeah. Can you elaborate a little bit on how trauma impacts your mental health? Because
yes, sir.
Because we've had a lot of conversations in the past, especially when it come to the Black community,
Yes, sir.
and just the state of people's mental health in the Black community, and just
yes, sir.
just constantly seeing death.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Whether if it's within like your family or your friends, anything, or just national, especially with 2020 that's happening. We see deaths all the time in the media. So just kind of like elaborate on how trauma really affects our mental health.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So I'll even say it like I believe most. I'm going to touch on like the Black community because we don't hear much about the Black community with mental health. So like most of what I'll talk about will be about the Black community. You know what I mean? And when we talk about just general, I can. But like for example, like the Black community, like growing up, you know what I mean? Like I still have paperwork from back home. I still have files and stuff like that to where okay. It's but there's more than 50% more Black individuals in the school systems, like your K through 12 that receive IEPs and 504 learning plans than your traditional, white individuals. You know what I mean? You're kind of taught that where you're kind of seen as, you're not as smart. You know what I mean? Like, for example, you turn on the TV, you're not seeing yourself as doctors. You're not. What shows are we on? We're on Power, Empire. Remember, like The Wire. Remember, we grew up like just seeing shows like movies like Training Day and stuff. So like, okay, I want to, Denzel is my dog. I want to be like that. You know what I mean? So to where you're not seeing, and that's a trauma because you don't see yourself in these things. You know what I mean? You don't see yourself as the lawyer on TV. You don't see yourself as the doctor on TV. And you're kind of raised up and taught that like you're not as smart, you're not as you can't get to that level. You know what I mean? And I'm not sure if you guys heard it when you were a kid, but my grandma used to always say that you have to work twice as hard to get half the credit.
Yeah.
And like I actually see it, like it's true. I'm sure you guys see it. And then even like as a kid, like, abuse, that's a trauma. You know what I mean? Like, if you got whippings for no reason, you know what I mean? I could honestly say every beating I got, I acted up. Grandma pointed at me, get that point, that switch. Hey, I knew what time it was. You know what I mean? So like I'll say for me, every whipping is different. And then I'll say one big thing that sticks out to me, where I even went through it for a while. It's a trauma to where going from, I grew up with my grandma. I'm sure y'all heard of Habitat for Humanity. So me and my grandma, I grew up with her. We never had running water or a bathroom until I turned 13. And we got a Habitat for Humanity house when I was 13. So like, I remember walking into the house when we first got it, when they gave us the keys, and we had the, I forgot what the ceremony is called. I went inside, and the first thing I did was turn the water on. And I remember just turning the water on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off. You know what I mean? And then even bathrooms, stuff like that, having running water where we had a toilet, we had a shower. You know what I mean? We didn't have to use water from a well or boil water that was kept on a rain barrel. You know what I mean?
Right.
And as I got older, it was certain stuff that I didn't do as a kid because my grandma never drove or anything, to where, like when I got to college and traveled out of state and stuff with athletics and did certain things, I would go through periods where I would get like, I honestly say it was like depression, because it's like when we went, I remember playing Georgia Southern. When football played Georgia Southern, I was with the support staff. And I remember being in Atlanta and being on a 15th floor of a hotel. And I sat there in quietness because it was just, I just looked out the window, saw the cars. You know what I mean? I never saw a big building like that in my life. On TV, you see it, but you never saw it as a kid. You never, you know what I mean? My family never traveled or anything. So like, I was uncomfortable going outside and stuff because it was like, dang, I'm really here. You know what I mean? Like it's actually a trauma. Or you guys may have seen it in certain areas or experienced it to where it's just like, dang, is this real? You know what I mean? That's one of many, or one of many. You know what I mean? Even now, like when I bought my first, like say last year, I was in an accident where a girl totaled my car at a stoplight, and I had to go buy a car, and I was like, dang, this is my first. I got like a 19 Accord, and I was like, dang, this is my first car. Yeah, I mean, like a legit car.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? It's just like, I'm sure you guys will go through it as well, where you'll go through periods where you're like, it's certain things where you're like, you should be like proud of and excited for, but I'll go through periods where I'm like, I don't really get excited for things because it's like, you never experienced it before. You know what I mean? I'm sure you guys go through it where you graduated college. If your parents never graduated or nothing, I mean, me going through college, like I had friends who their whole family was there and everything. They were so excited. But I was like, for me, I was like, I started college. It was expected for me to, we go through more issues in college, financial aid and all this, but it was expected that when I graduated out, I was like, dang, I was expecting to graduate. I was expecting to start and not finish something, but it was just like being happy. It was just like, I smiled a little bit. I had a straight face afterwards, but I was like, you know what I mean? My grandma was like, congratulations, but she wasn't OD excited, which I expected because, you know what I mean? They didn't really know the weight of it, you know what I mean?
Right.
And that's another trauma, you know what I mean? You see other people with all, different families and dilemmas and everything. And it's just like, we're struggling for hours. And once you get it, it's just like, I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? I don't know how to accept it, because it's like, all right, you go to college. I'll say you graduate. Okay, you're here. you know, I had so many boys and stuff like that I went to high school with, and you know what I mean. And then I got to college and I finished my master's and stuff, and I went through different places. You know, I still work with pro athletes on certain areas and stuff like this, and it's like, dang, I'm up here now, and they're still here, but it brings me sadness because it's like, dang, I wish they could experience all of what I experienced. You know what I mean? All these different places, all these different food places, you met these different people. I wish, you know what I mean? Like, I really, really wish they had the opportunity that I did. But it's just sad because they don't get the same opportunity. They didn't have the same, you know what I mean? Like, financial resources. They just didn't have the same support system. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I didn't have that best support system, but it's just like they didn't have. You know, you reach out, you're like, dang, I wish they could experience it. You know what I mean? And there's no way for them to bridge that gap at that point. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I definitely understand what you're talking about when it comes to like this graduating college. Well, I felt more like that when I got my master's. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't as I don't know why, but I wasn't as excited
Right.
like other people
Right.
than like when I got my first, like when I got my bachelor's from Longwood. Because like you said, it
Mm-hmm.
was like something like, yeah, I knew I was gonna get this. Even
Yep.
though it's like a big accomplishment, it's like,
Right.
okay, I got it. Like I knew I
Right.
was gonna pass my classes. I mean, it's something that I wanted to do anyway.
Right.
I put my mind to it. But Joe, you had anything you want to chip in with that?
Nah, I mean, it's just like, I feel like that is the curse from like the Black community, is
Mm-hmm.
that I wouldn't even say so much as the community, but just like it's a humbling factor, because of the fact of the matter is like we're not really taught to enjoy those small victories, especially those big accomplishments. Like,
Mm-hmm.
because we're so used to, and I'm not gonna say we as a us. I'm talking like we as a culture and a race. Like we were taught to like, okay, yeah, you may have this, but somebody else over there got it worse. So, don't take for granted what you got. And which is good, which is a good mindset. But then but with that being said, you take that and you carry it differently. You like you're saying, like you say, like you didn't have running water to 13. All right. And then it's like, okay, how do I sit back and enjoy life when my life was so humble in the beginning? It's almost like you get conditioned to struggle. Like, I don't know if we realize
Yep.
it, but like, since we never had this is what I'm trying to get out. Since we've never had this thing, it's never been a handicap. We
Mm-hmm.
never knew it was a problem. We just
Mm-hmm.
learned to go without it.
Mm-hmm.
Then when we have it, it's like, okay, it's cool, I got it, but now I'm used to not having it. I'm used to like, I never was missing a beat. Like for instance, at work the other day, there's a whole software that we utilize that is supposed to look up a database for anybody's information. Like, it's literally like one of the most important parts of my job.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing my job for 5 months and I didn't even know this thing was a thing, because like I was like, I don't like, I knew about it, but I didn't know how to get to it, so I didn't worry about it. I was like, my job has to get done. I can't stop doing what I'm doing because I don't
Right.
have this. And I feel like, and so my boss was like, why didn't you tell me? I was like, I didn't know that I even needed the thing. Like, I thought it was just another tool that I just didn't have. And when you have that mindset of being used to not having, it carries with you everywhere. Like, that you go in the instant, okay, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do this, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do that, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do this. Because in our heads, the world don't stop spinning. So we don't got time to gripe and complain. But I feel like that's where a huge part of our trauma comes into play, because since we don't have those moments where we can take time to like, damn, this shit really sucks.
Mhm.
Or just be like, or take the time to be like, oh, yo, this is a really big accomplishment. Because I thought something was wrong with me for the longest time, because I wasn't excited to graduate college. Like, I was just like, it was like, bro, and like for instance, like my birthday, like I don't get excited around my birthday.
Right.
It's literally just another day.
Right.
But I don't know if that's just a man thing or if it's just a us thing.
Yeah.
because I see my aunt takes her birthday off. Miss Word takes her birthday off every year, like since she's been working.
Yep. If my birthday don't fall on the weekend, I work my birthdays. Like,
bro, like people like when we had that ice storm during my birthday, so social services had to go in and we had to set up a shelter, and basically everybody was like, "It's your birthday," and I was like, "Yeah." Like I get more excited for other people's birthdays because it's like, I guess I want to like be there for them or whatever. But like for mine, it's just another day. Graduation, another day. Graduation was annoying to me. I didn't want to walk. I didn't want to listen to no speech. I didn't want to take a picture. I hadn't ate all day. My car had broke down. I was like, yo, this is trash. I'm like, hey, I'm just ready to get drunk and just eat some pizza or something, bro.
Go to Applebee's, get that 20, man. That's all it is.
Look, I'll never forget, like, we were trying to get to this restaurant, bro, and like it was packed because like ODU, Norfolk State, like everybody had graduated at the same time. So like it was nowhere to go. I was like, hey, bro. My mom just looked at my face. She was like, Joe, you can just go be with your friends. You ain't gotta be here no more. I said, all right, man. I said, can we go to cookout? I said, because we already got the lick at the house. I said, well, all I gotta do is get this cookout tray and I'll be straight. But it's crazy. Yeah. I'm glad that you had said that, bro, because I literally had thought that there was something wrong with me. I was like, oh, I must be messed up.
And like you said, like I didn't see that nowhere in a textbook or nothing, but there is a psychologist named Claude Steele who he worked at Michigan a little bit, and he worked at I think he's currently at Stanford, but he has a book in which it talks about like stereotyping biases, how like you're seen as a certain way, like you're seen as a certain threat depending on how you're walking or how someone just sees you. But he talked about it, and I was like, man, really? And I, like you said, like I thought the same thing, and like I didn't see it nowhere in my course text. It didn't talk about it nowhere in school, and I was just like, dang. And he touched on it, and there's research and everything, and I was like, wow. But like I wasn't OD excited or nothing. I was like, all right, like, you know what I mean? And it kind of makes you sad. You're like, dang, everybody's excited. Like, why ain't I excited? You know what I mean? Like, why am I not? You know what I mean? Like, and then it's just like, what's next? And then you apply for all these jobs, and it's just like, all right, when am I gonna get an email back? When am I gonna get a call back? You know what I mean?
Yeah, nah, you'd be surprised how many people, especially like within the Black community, that either like got the same or just similar story. When it comes to that stuff like that. I do want to add just what I think, just some things that I think affect the mental health. Like you was already saying, just like what you was talking about, like when you was growing up until you was 13, just lack of necessities or the assumption that you have a lack of things. Some people have enough or well off. But they kind of like put that pressure on themselves and just make it feel like I don't have enough money to do this and that, or just similar stuff like that. And just your environment in general, just the people, like your association, like just the people that you hang around, because we talked about this on the last one, just how toxic like some of our circles can be, and you're constantly taking that information in. It's going to impact you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's good. Like, you can block out some things, but when you're constantly taking that in, it outweighs the positive things that you're putting in your brain as well. So you got to know how to limit those types of things. But going back to you, Vinny. What are some known signs of depression?
Yeah. Okay. So I'd say number one would be the number one thing that I honestly see that's overlooked is sleepiness. You know what I mean? Like, just somebody just wants to sleep all day, all night. You know what I mean? I understand being tired and stuff, but just sleepiness, that's a severe sign where it's just like you don't want to do anything. You don't want to be in reality. Sleep is your coping mechanism. That's your way out. You know what I mean? You're away from your problems. And then even, like I said, you got things like I can smoke. Someone could smoke, weed all the time, and then they're not really thinking about their, what I mean, you're just chilling or just just down. You're not really thinking. People drink, and then you also have lack of interest. You got like feelings of just hopelessness or sadness, or empty, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like, is there more, like, all right, I got this, but it still ain't fulfilling that little void, you know what I mean?
Right.
Fatigue, like I said, with this sleepiness. And then also you got suicidal thoughts, which, everybody with depression doesn't have suicidal thoughts, you know what I mean? And that's often I know a lot of people is like, oh, I'm not depressed, but I feel depressed sometimes, but I don't have suicidal thoughts. I'm like, it's okay. Like, not everybody has suicidal thoughts, you know what I mean? And just the feeling of just not wanting to be there, you know what I mean? Or just like, oh, I wish I wasn't here. I wish you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. That is. Oh, go ahead, Joe.
Oh, I just wanted to add on to that. I think that because I'm a true advocate for mental health, especially
Yes,
in
sir.
the Black community.
Sure.
Like because like we were talking about earlier at the beginning, our brain literally controls almost every aspect of our
Right.
life. But with that being said, I think that the biggest stigma with depression, mental mental health, and et cetera, is that we set these what's the word I'm looking for? We set this criteria for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, like, okay, yeah, I'm sad and I'm sleeping all the time, but I'm not having suicidal thoughts. I'm just, I'm just working too much.
Right.
And very well, you could be facing depression.
Right.
And it's like, we got to eliminate that, because at the end of the day, like, we allow ourselves to, you don't really get the help and the help that you need,
Right.
because in your head there's nothing wrong.
Right.
And you just thinking this is just normal shit. Going back to what I was saying ago, like, when you think it's normal and this is your norm, you can never seek help because you didn't know it was a problem to begin with.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, that's what I was saying, like, because I've said it before, like, I went through a spell of like depression, and I didn't know, like, I thought I was fine. Like, I knew something was wrong, but I just really just thought, like, you go through them phases where you just be like, you just ain't fucking with the world, and the world ain't fucking with you, so you just let it go. But it took like my girl to basically be like, hey, like, I can't help you with this, like, you got to go talk to someone. And then it was like, damn, like, it might be something really wrong with me. And like you said, like, I won't have like suicidal thoughts or nothing. I was just like, in those moods.
Right.
And it's crazy because it's like, how can we help people that don't know that they need help?
Right.
Yeah, it's good to you touch on that a little bit, because it was some of the things that you mentioned were some of the things that I was going through at one point. Just the lack of energy, the lack of motivation to do things. You know what I'm saying? You just wanna sit around, not necessarily be productive. And you just like, you just absolutely don't want to do anything. You don't want to talk to anybody, nothing. And then sometimes, like, during like a period, you just like a short period, you could just go through different types of emotions, and it's crazy. Like, why am I feeling like this? So usually, like now, like usually when I feel like I'm getting back to that point, I know, that I need to do something different, so I won't,
Right.
lead back down that path, because being just being in that position, man, it could be tough, and it could feel like, you're not worth anything, like, and sometimes you make yourself feel like no one understands what you're going through, even though there's a lot of people that you can actually go out there and talk to, about that situation. And this is why I want to transition to the next question, is like, what can we do as individuals to
Yes, sir.
improve our mental health?
Yes, sir. And one thing I say, all three of us are men, and I believe in our community. As a kid, I used to be like, yeah, I feel sad. As a kid, I can remember, like, if I was to say something like that, grandma would be like, yeah, you need to go to church. You know what I mean? Like, grandma would be like, yeah, you need to go to church. That's the devil in you or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's just like, as a kid or something like that, like, I remember, like, I would, I never grew up with kids or nothing like that. So, like, I would hang with people. I would have the opportunity to hang with somebody, like, after church or something. And then they would go home and I'd be like, dang. And I'd be like, what am I going to do now? You know what I mean? Because, like, I was kind of, it was just me and my grandma's house, but it was just like, dang, like, all right. Like, I would get down a little bit because I'm like, dang, I ain't got nobody to hang with. You know what I mean?
Right.
And, you didn't have gaming or nothing like that back then. I was like, dang, it's just me by myself. And, anyway, that's one thing. And then even, like, that lead me to, like, what helps. I mean, us as men, or just, just anybody can talk to each other. You know what I mean? Like, no, like, okay, like have somebody that like, hey, like I got one of my boys, like we just literally, we talk every day, multiple times. You know, we try to talk every day, but most days we'll talk multiple times a day, just talk about like the day or like stuff we encounter and just be like, hey man, you know, I did this today. And it's just normal casual conversation. And then I'll get his opinion, he'll get my opinion, and we just go about this and no arguments or nothing. But it's just, you know, getting that out, like getting what's bothering you or what's on your mind out, that helps a lot. And I tell a lot of people, get you a journal and write down what's really bothering you. You know what I mean? If you don't have somebody you can talk to, like, you know, I'll even give people, you know, I'll tell you guys, give people my email, give them my Instagram. If somebody ever wants to talk about something, I'll talk to them for free, and you know what I mean? It'll be confidential. But writing stuff down and then balling that piece of paper up and get rid of it actually helps. And research shows, and I even see people, you know, I got a lot of people, and a lot of people actually do that. But other things, I feel like therapy, in our community, we really, you know, we see therapy as like we really don't value therapy. We really think it's like, oh, I don't need therapy. But I feel like I went through years where, you know, they offered us with athletics therapy, and it actually helps. You just talking to somebody and just, I don't know, just having somebody just there just to listen. You know, like I said, just getting it out, talking to the therapist, that actually helps. You know what I mean? Because you know, sometimes therapists can even be like, "Oh, what do you think about this?" And then you'll learn like different coping mechanisms. In which I also tell people exercise. I believe, and you know, I even do it myself, and I have others doing it as well. Like just getting the exercise. Like, you know, someone my man, I'm mad about something. Like for example, my fiance made me mad a while back. So man, I'm about to go work out. You know what I mean? I swear I was in. You know, I usually bench like 210, 225. Man, I swear
300.
250. Yeah, I was like, man, I don't even need pre-workout. You know what I mean? But exercising, getting some sun, you know, walking. You know what I mean? Just walking or something. Because I do some mentoring and stuff, and I told one of my mentees, I was like, hey, when you're frustrated or something, give yourself 5 minutes. Don't get on the phone or nothing. Just get yourself 5 minutes. If you're on the phone, just be like, I'll call you back. Have 5 minutes to yourself, walk, or just 5 minutes to just think, like, is this really worth you know, my brain space? Is this really that major, like I'm making it to be? Just to exercise, walking, getting some sun or something like that. You got exercise, you got therapy, communication, like I said, with others. Music is very helpful, in which I believe, like, all right, like, I'm not gonna say listen to Pooh Shiesty every time something. Because I believe like filling your mind with like music, like just hard rap music all the time. It's just like, all right, like I'm a constant thing, you know, like, all right, like I'm a rider, you know what I mean? Like, all right, if I'm mad, like this gonna make me fight, you know what I mean? Like, all right, so I believe like just lo-fi music or just different types of music, you know what I mean? Like it just, you know, just something to change your mind, just change your you know, your wavelengths. And then lastly, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead. You dropping the knowledge.
You know, so you got exercise, you got therapy, you got communication, you got the journal, you got music. Lastly, I'll say medication. I would say medication lastly, but I would put that last on my list because I would always have people like, hey, like, let's try this other stuff first, because I don't want you on I want you on a medication. If you know, if it's not dramatic, if it's suicidal thoughts and stuff, okay, I understand. Let's just find something, you know, more chronic, like we can attack it right away. But I believe try everything else first. You know, therapy. Try therapy first, and exercise, music, and all that. And then, you know, if that's helping, great. You know, and I you know, like I was saying, I would still intertwine music, exercise, and therapy. But if you need medication, you know, you can go to a professional, get medication. I place that last because I have individuals, you know, people get addicted to these medications. Like I'm sure you guys, you know, in college, you got individuals that were addicted to just taking Adderall. You know what I mean? I understand people, you got tests or something, okay. You know what I mean? I see it a lot, but, you know, it's abusing it, but I see it a lot. But I knew people that would just take it all the time. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because they want that. And also you got caffeine where you know what I mean? You're constantly up here with the caffeine, then you have that drop. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Joe, you wanted to say something?
Oh, no. I was just like, man, like you dropping. That's good shit. Like, because of the fact that we don't talk about ways to cope with,
right.
You know, when you're dealing with stuff like,
right.
and I wanted to point out the music part, because a lot of y'all, like Derek said, listen to your homeboy's album and not telling him that it's trash. And then you
Oh
sitting there
man,
walking around while you frustrated all the time because you gotta listen to this trash. And I just wanted to shout out
It's
that
impacting your
Cole
mood.
album had just dropped. Y'all can go listen to some good music. You know that all season.
I like
boy.
that plug. I like that plug.
Hey Cole, Dreamville, shoot a you gotta pay us for that ad.
Look, hey, facts. Hey, he was just on the TV balling.
Hey, yeah.
Yep. But yeah.
Man, but no, it's crazy though because this is like so you don't know, but I'm a fraud investigator. So
okay.
basically,
I used to be a fraud investigator myself. Okay.
oh, so hands down, like
Man,
it gets to the points where like you'll legit be investigating, and you'll hit this block. It's like nothing clicks, nothing makes sense because like
right.
you like, all right, I gotta present this to the Commonwealth attorney, and I know the ask me is, well, where's this part? And I'm be like, I don't know, man. Like, just take my word for
Yeah.
it. But it's funny though because like I listen to lo-fi music all the time while I'm working.
Right.
That it helps. It stimulates me. It gets me in a
Right.
zone. It's like, all right, but I can do whatever. But then it's like when I get to those blocks and the music doesn't help, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take it a 15.
Right.
Like I gotta walk away. I gotta get
Right.
and like last week, I legit cleaned my office. Like my office isn't dirty, but it was like boxes like that had been that equipment, like computer boxes and everything. I was like, let me break these boxes down and get together. And it was funny because you said going to the gym, and I was like, man, I remember like someone told me like you can't punch a woman, but them weights don't feel nothing like them. like that bench press don't feel no pain, so you can abuse that, which is crazy because like I mean, we don't promote abuse on this podcast. However, you got to punch something. So it's crazy that and it's just good to like. I'm glad the people that are listening. I know a lot of us. Go ahead.
Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off. I got one other thing I forgot about, but like I'll say, the last thing would be that Xbox. You know what I mean? Like that can actually help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? You stress out like 5 minutes. Like I'll play. I don't know about Warzone, but I'll play. You know what I mean? I'll play one good game in 2K or something like that. You know what I mean? Just ease my stress. Like even if something on your mind. You know what I mean? Like, the video game help. Talking to your boys online helps too. You know what I mean? You'll get in a party. I'm sure if y'all ever play games, like you'll get in a party, just be in deep chat about an hour or something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing I forgot.
Sir.
You know what I mean?
I would throw out there like if you're whack at 2K, it probably won't help because you're just gonna be on there losing all the time.
That's what I was about to say. That's funny, Dave. I was just about to say that because I am that person. I'll get on. I'll be like, all right, man, I had a long day. Let me go ahead and go on Call of Duty. Man, instant dead. Man, this game cheating. I'm lagging.
They cheating.
Yo, don't.
And look,
so
then my fiance would be like, "Why are you yelling? You loud? You yelling?" I have to hit her with that look while I'm playing the game.
You already know,
bro. It's so funny because like legit, I went through the same thing. Like I was going off. I was playing GTA and I was just like doing GTA shit. And my girl, I was fussing at the game because like for some reason I couldn't get the click. And I was like, I turned around, I looked at her, I said, it's you. I said, it's you. And she was like, what do you mean? I said, I've done this same mission 100 times and never failed. I said, you're sitting here watching me, it's putting pressure on me. I said, it's you. So she was like, I'm not doing anything. I said, yes, you are. It's your presence. We just going back and forth. And she was like, why do you take this game so serious? I was like, why are we still talking? I was just walking out the room for like 30 minutes. Like so I just turned the game off and we just called it a night. And she had went home. And I was like, let me see if I can beat this mission now that she gone. I swear on everything, beat it like it was no problem. I sent her a screenshot. I was like, I told you I knew it was you. Like, it's funny though, but I would say like the only thing about the game, bro, don't get on the game. Don't pick no games that you gotta be competitive at and that you might have a possibility of you getting pissed off because that's only gonna make your day worse.
I think to add to some of the things that y'all was talking about, I think the communication is probably the most important thing. Communicating more, definitely living a healthier lifestyle. Not only going to the gym but also what you eat and everything like that. Association, once again, being around better people. And this is something that I'm trying to do better with. And that's another thing too. Just admitting what you need to do better at. That could be one thing too.
Mm-hmm.
But growing more spiritually,
Mm-hmm.
spiritual. That's definitely one thing as well. And then I think the last thing probably for me is just, I think just like self education.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Just being aware of different
Right.
things, different topics, just gaining that knowledge of different things that
Right.
make you feel like you're not in the dark, or just stuff like that. So just self education. Um, let's see. I think I want to ask y'all. Do you think internal or external factors causes the most stress?
I would say, oh, you said you're asking me or you're asking?
Anybody can answer
Oh,
at this
I'll
point.
say external because I feel like with the technology, with a lot of external factors, it causes a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression. Because, for example, like you guys go to Florida, or you guys go to your favorite place, turn your phone off or whatever, and if you got some, you turn your phone off and you go to a restaurant, you go to your favorite restaurant. Money is an external factor. You know what I mean? But that phone is off. But say if you got $100 in your pocket, you go to your favorite restaurant, get your favorite food, you probably chill, watch TV there, and just relax. You know what I mean? You're not seeing stuff on social media. You're not hearing stuff from other people. It's just you, and you're in your favorite place, eating good. You know what I mean? So I believe I believe that a lot of external factors play into it, more external than internal, because you can change the external, but you really can't change the internal. You know what I mean?
All right. What about you, Joe?
I don't say it depends on the person. Like for me, I feel like it's the opposite. Like I'm more
Mm-hmm.
internal, and the reason I say that
Mm-hmm.
only is because like um a lot of shit, like my friends and family will tell me this all the time. Like Derek said it one time too. Like saying like Joe, you sensitive, and it's true. Like I'll take something like the wrong way, and then I'll be like, man, I can't believe. Like me and Derek had this one incident, which wasn't even serious. Like because you got to know us to know like
Yes, sir.
how it was taken out of context. So I'm like, why the fuck this nigga out here? Like Derek never tells me like something unless it's a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And Derek was just like, nah, we're not doing that. So then I was like, oh no, I'm about to fight this nigga. But then, we sat down as bros and we like, we got it out there and shit, and it was like squashed. And then I realized I was like, oh, it wasn't Derek's problem, it was me. Like I interpreted everything like, this way. And it's funny because my kindergarten teacher told me this a long, long time ago. She was like, you decide on the day that you have. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you decide on that. Like, when you wake up in the morning, you can decide what type of day you want to
Mm-hmm.
have. And, if it's a lot of times I feel like something will go not my way, and I'll be like, man, fuck this day. Like, this shit going bad, blah, blah, blah. And when the whole time I'm like, it's really like you said, if I take 5 minutes to think about it, it's not even that significant. I can just go about my day because it's not even that serious. So I feel like for me, it's like more internal because I'm my own worst enemy. Like I'm harder on myself, like et cetera, et cetera. But you made a valid point with the social media thing. Like I think social media needs to be banned. I ain't gonna hold you. That shit is
And then
toxic.
it's just like, when we were kids, like I feel like, okay, when we were kids, me wearing glasses as a kid, me with my eye disorder as a kid, like it was like, okay, all right, 4 hours, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like, we ain't look at it as bullying because everybody got their fair share. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody got their fair share. You picked on everybody about something, and then it's just like, my grandma and them used to be like, yeah, don't worry about it. It's just growing up. You know what I mean? It's all right. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like now, like seeing how you can say anything to, not anything, but like you can say something. I know a lot of kids and stuff where you can say something so small to where it's major, and it's just like you said with social media and stuff, like how. You know what I mean? I feel like everybody tries to fit a certain image of what they see on social media. People trying to, I've been seeing people like on social media look like they got all the money and everything, and then, we all linked up and went somewhere, and I was like, dang, like okay, that's a show. You ain't got to put on a show for everybody. You know what I mean? Live your life.
Yeah.
Everybody, you ain't got to put on a show. If you don't have it, you don't have it. You know what I mean? But it's just crazy how social media. Like I tell my fiance, like I don't have TikTok. I have Instagram and Twitter and
Mm-hmm.
Facebook. I barely get on any of them. It's just I told I said I feel like it's so much like showing off on Twitter. Instagram is showing off, it's like I had to show this image, you know what I mean, that everything is good when, why show everything is good when outside of social media I'm struggling, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I definitely agree. I'm leaning more towards Joe when it just for
Mm-hmm.
personal reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely agree with everything you said about external, like social. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
social
Yeah.
media is definitely it's the worst, and it kills me sometimes when people like be like, man, y'all take this social media stuff seriously, man, y'all, just stuff like that. But I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
but why not take it seriously though?
Right.
Because it's being social, but at the same time, it's being you, but
Correct.
you're on social media trying to portray somebody totally different from who
Correct.
you know what I'm saying, who you truly are. So why not take social media
Mm-hmm.
seriously? Why not use social media to boost whatever you're trying to do? Whether that is a business or just something you promote something. Like, why not use social media in that
Mm-hmm.
platform?
Right.
But what's crazy is, I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you off, but I think that when you say use it, take it seriously, I think that you should. I think I completely agree with you, but I think that you need to watch what you say on there too, because you know, especially on Twitter. I just
Twitter is
said this last
savage, man.
night.
Twitter
I
is a
was like,
different
yo, I said
different environment,
Twitter
man.
is. I said, that's why I don't even tweet on Twitter, because I tweet and all I need is for it to go viral, and next thing I know, I'm crying in the bathroom because somebody hurt my feelings. And because I know me, like I'm not built to handle. I'm not built to handle that kind of stuff. So, but I get on Twitter and you see people going back and forth, and it's not funny, but it's so fucked up. They'll be like going back and forth, and they'll be like, "Man, that's why you can't walk." And it'll be like a picture of the dude's in a wheelchair, and the dude will be like, "Yeah," he said, He said, "I bet y'all walk more than your granny," or something like that. And then in the bio, it'll be like, "R.I.P. Grandma." I'll be like, "Yo."
Oh my god.
But the reason I say that is, bro, I'm like, y'all don't have to say these things.
Mm-hmm.
Like y'all can stop. Y'all can, like, you ain't got nothing nice to say. Just don't say it, bro. But it's too much freedom. Like like this dude I went to school with, he literally said he got on YouTube. This is when YouTube had just got bigger. Um, and that's when we had like all that content. Dude said he got on YouTube just to put negative views on, just to hit the dislike button and to
Wow.
write negative stuff. Like he had no reason.
It's like when a video is an hour and it was uploaded 2 minutes ago, you already got 3 dislikes on it.
And you're like, bro, like why? But and he was like, I was like, why do it? And he was like, why not, man? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like who wakes up and chooses violence every
Right.
fucking day?
That's ridiculous. But not
Yeah.
to finish off what I was saying, like pretty much with everything that Joe was originally saying, like everything everything falls on me and the decisions I make. I can decide not to get on social media.
Mm-hmm.
I can decide not to uh be around those specific people or take these drugs, and everything falls back on me and the decisions I make. But I think at the same time, when it comes to like internal factors, I was saying this before, is sometimes it feel like, yeah, I'm big on this. Sometimes it just feels like I'm not doing enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not doing enough. I'm not, where I need to be. So we put that pressure on ourselves for no reason at all,
Mm-hmm.
even though I guess we're not necessarily seeing the results we are expecting, but at the same time we are still making some type of progression, and we
Right.
don't we don't take that into consideration at all. We want these big steps, you know, quickly, but not
Correct.
we're not recognizing those small victories that we have along the way. So it's just, putting that pressure on ourselves to, to be this person, to accomplish these things. So
Right.
that's just personal. So I know for me, I think the internal factors definitely outweigh the
Right.
external things, because I can definitely block out um most of those negative things and be able to
Mm-hmm.
take in taking those positive things, daily and everything like that.
I got a
Um,
question.
what's up?
Derek, to piggyback off what Vince was saying, do you think that you personally first answer personally, then answer the question like for a whole? Do
Okay.
you think that those are not unrealistic, but those expectations that you place on yourself, do you think that it could be impacted from those exterior factors? Because like I'll see someone like I'm not gonna lie, like you, I'll be like, all right, I see Derek doing this, and this, like he always on the move, he always doing good. I gotta pick my shit up to like, blah, blah, blah. Um, as motivation. Or social media, like you see someone studying on social media, like, damn, I kind of want that, blah, blah, blah. Do you think that that could definitely play a huge part? Because if the exterior is affecting your internal, then I guess it would be more of an X.
Um,
Man, too many words, but you know
yeah,
what
no, I
I'm
understand what you're
saying.
saying. I think, well, for personal, I think it'd be both. I think it could lean towards external factors too. Um, I think for me personally, I think it like what Vinny was saying earlier. I guess trauma.
Mm,
It may lean more towards that as well. Just I guess once, of course, external. So you grow up and you see certain things. You see how um fair relationships. You see people are not necessarily in a position that they want to be. So you kind of take those, especially your immediate family and everything like that. So you take all of that into consideration, and or me, I ain't gonna say anybody else. I take those into consideration, and I put that pressure on myself. Like I want different. I want to be better. So that's why I personally put those types of pressure on myself, because I want, we talk about this a lot, just like the your legacy, and everything like that. I want the generations after me to be raised totally different from the ones before me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want them to experience that. That is fucking ridiculous. I don't want them to experience that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't control, the people that they interact with in school. You know what I'm saying? And that's also why I don't want to, like homeschool or pick kids in private school, because the world is like a public school.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna experience different types of people in this
Mm-hmm.
world. So as long as you get them into a good, public school, they're gonna get their education. But
Right.
but I can't judge. I can't control like who they're gonna interact with, who they're gonna run into the street. You know what I'm saying? But I can't prepare them for that. So that's definitely my reason. But I think in general it can lead more towards like the external factors when you are talking about like the
Mm-hmm.
social media, especially this generation.
oh
This
yeah.
generation grows up on social media and technology. Back in the day, we walked, like, if we want to meet up, we meet up. We talk with each other in school, like, hey, meet me after
Yup,
school
yay.
this time. We're gonna be here at this time. We meet up. We already told our parents what time to drop us off and what time to
And we're
pick
trying
us
to pick
up.
us up.
Not yeah,
Hey.
like we wasn't on social media with that. We was really, like, y'all say we outside, but nah. Back in the day, we was really outside with
And
it. Like,
you wouldn't know if somebody wasn't coming until you got there. It was
until
like,
you got there, like, where is he at?
like,
Yep.
damn. I'd be like, all right, well, Joe must have got cussed out, so he ain't coming out.
Facts.
Like
Facts.
he know
Yeah.
where we going.
Yeah.
So
But did I
yeah,
answer?
facts.
Did I answer your question?
You did.
Yeah.
Proud of you. Good job, sir. Good job. Yes, sir.
Shut
Yes,
up,
sir.
man. But I think lastly, we can, I guess, depending on y'all answer, y'all can go into depth with this, or you can just mention it. But you talk about therapy, and I know that definitely I listen to the Breakfast Club probably like every day that they come on. So Charlemagne he's a big advocate when it comes to like mental health and everything like that. And he always talks about how important therapy is, and I haven't been to therapy yet, but I definitely want to go one day.
Right.
Um, but are there things, or are there conversations for you all that's hard for you all to discuss?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
definitely.
Oh yeah.
What is that conversation? You don't have to go into depth of it if you don't
okay.
want to. But what is that conversation?
Oh, I mean, I think the biggest one for me, god damn. The weight started hitting me. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
whew.
it's hard. Yeah.
I think the biggest conversation that like the hardest one would be probably just growing up as a man without like a male figure
Mm-hmm.
and like constantly trying to fit. I don't even know how to say it. Like just constantly trying to be something that I think that wasn't really meant for me to be, if that makes sense. Like, which is why call back to our earlier one of our earlier joints from the Unfiltered Arguments joint when I kept asking y'all what does it take to be a man. The reason I kept asking is because like I know that when I was growing up, it was hard because all I had was women. So I looked at them and I mimicked them. And then that caused people to think that I was soft and I was like I was this and I was that. And I wasn't. Like I was just like a normal kid. I just didn't have a dad to look at
Right.
like that. And I think that like that probably be like one of the hardest conversations to come out and talk about for me personally is because it would have to be like me. I guess more or less me accepting that. Because like I feel like for 26 years I've just been coping with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I knew it was a problem, but I never really addressed it. But like to come out and really talk about how it made me feel and to get that like to really dive deep into it. That's the thing about therapy that I don't
Yeah.
fuck with that scares me. Is when therapy when they start questioning and they start digging deep and you start realizing that the way you was like this would be some arbitrary ass reason from like this point in your life. Dude, look, man, that rabbit hole, that thing goes deep. And I don't really want to go that far.
But that's like, and I think that's why therapy is so important because
Yeah,
you always hear action cures fear, and
yeah.
once you get over, once you, it's like we got this fear in us, but it's like when you actually do
Mm-hmm.
that thing that you were so afraid of, it's like
Mm.
I could have been did this.
Mm-hmm.
You
No,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
facts.
So that's nah, but I agree though because it's some that's why I would rather talk to like of course you could talk to some of your homeboys about some of the things that you
Nah, I
go
get
through
what you're
and like,
saying.
but I want to
Mm-hmm.
be able to talk to like a professional when it comes
Right.
to
Mm.
this specific conversation. And I think Vince, did you have anything that's hard for you
Yeah,
to
I understand. Like it would be. I would always call. Like I even talked to my fiance about this. Like I always call it like dreams and nightmares because it's like I said, like I talked to y'all about like getting like reaching more accomplishments and doing more things that I ever dreamed of, and then like I'll even still like have dreams or like go to sleep, wake up, and then just sit there for a little bit and just think about it. But like going from where I like growing up and where I was to like now, you know what I mean? It's just like being sad, like being happy, but yet still being sad because of like what we went through and like you know what I mean? Like my grandma can't experience what I experienced, you know what I mean? Like and just like, my family can't experience what I experienced, but what I experienced is just like a big gap. And it's just like, all right, like I'm the first one, my immediate family to like propose or like, like to like be in a serious relationship like this, you know what I mean? To where like we're engaged, you know what I mean? And it's just like, for example, like I got back from Florida Monday. I got an email for like my dream job I had since I was like 17, 18. And I mean, I've been applying since my first year in college. And like, I got the offer. Like I got the offer letter and everything. And it was just like I got it.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, thank you. I got it. And I sat there and looked at it for a little bit. And I told my fiance and it was just like, oh, excited. And I was just like, pardon me, I sat there and I was like, yeah. And I was like, dang, what's next? You know what I mean? I was like, what's out there? You know what I mean? But it's like we talked about, like that was something I dreamed of. I was like 18. I did it, and it's just like, I talked to my grandma about it, and like she understands. And she was like, "Oh, it's good," but at the same time, she doesn't understand like the magnitude of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then even like some of my boys and stuff like, they don't, you know what I mean, they don't understand like the magnitude of it. And like, you know how hard you work on something, how much effort you put into it. You know what I mean? And it's just like, dang, it's like, all right, it's happening. But it's like, okay, what's next? And then like I'll constantly think about, like, I'll go through periods, like I'll sit here, like I could be reading a book or I'll just be chilling something. And I'm like, dang, you guys will see it where certain smells, certain things you see remind you of things from your childhood. And I'll be like, dang, you know what I mean? Like this makes me really think about, this experience. Like we had a, like all my, I think all my tattoos are covered up, but all my tattoos reference like stuff from like childhood to now. And it's just like, for example, like I was driving to West Virginia and I saw a little corner store, and it reminded me of the corner store I grew up near. Corner store, it closed and everything. And I literally had to take them in, and I messaged the old owner of the corner store. I was like, thank you for all you did. And like part of me, I was like sad that it's closed. And I was like, dang, like all the stuff that, he used to let me have tabs because, we never had money. And I'm sure I've racked up thousands of dollars where it was never paid. You know what I mean? And he still treated me like, yeah, go ahead and get it. You know what I mean? But it's just like accepting what it is now, and not forgetting what it was, but like letting go of what things were. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, yeah. I think for me personally, I think it's definitely uh the death of my grandma. That's something that I never really had a conversation about, like in full details. If you know me personally, like, I had my mom and dad split, I think back in like, I think it might have been like 2010 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, it was just pretty much my mom. I was just with my mom most of the time, with my mom and grandma. My grandma helped us, me and my brother, raise us since we was little. Well, not only us, but all my cousins. My
Mm-hmm.
grandma had eight kids total. Um, three three is still here today. Um, and what I'm saying, I just learned a lot from her, and
Mm-hmm.
she her and my mom top two like women. And I would tell like people that I'm in a relationship with how much those two women
Mm-hmm.
mean to me. And so when my grandma passed, I just had like a lot of questions, and like a lot of regrets.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the questions is just like the cause, what I could have did different, and just stuff like that. And then a lot of
Mm-hmm.
regrets is like my grandma is like, she's very strong. She's been through a lot in her lifetime. I never thought that I would see the day that she would be gone. But I was like, yo, like all my cousins, had children, was able to meet my
Mm-hmm.
meet my grandma. Even some of my cousins' children had children, was
Mm-hmm.
able to meet my grandma. I'm like, yo, damn, like the woman that meant the most to me, my kids won't even be able to
Mm-hmm.
meet her. So that's like, God damn. So I think about that a lot. So, but I never go into too much details. That's why we'd rather talk to like a real, like,
Yes, sir.
professional,
Yes, sir.
to have that conversation. So that's why I think like therapy is like,
Correct.
it's crazy. So whenever I do like actually like get the chance to like book an appointment with like a professional, I'm definitely gonna take that take the opportunity to be able to talk about that. Um, Joe, I know your screen is froze right now, so I'm not even sure if you can still hear us at this moment. But nah, I don't think he could hear us at this moment. But we're gonna just transition. Um, yeah, he went back on. But yeah, we're gonna transition to our last
Okay.
segment of this episode called No Cap. And I'll go first. And so pretty much my no cap for this episode, since we are just talking about like kind of like mental health and everything like that. My
Mm-hmm.
new cap for this episode is uh you're not alone. Don't feel like you got to do things by yourself, or you just feel like that you have no one to go to. There's strangers out here that's willing to support you more than some, than
Right.
more than some of the people that you know. um So just be willing to reach out to people if you need help with anything, or you just need a listening ear, because there's people that out there that are more than willing to help you in whatever you need, or just be there to listen to you. So don't forget that you're not on this earth alone. Um, and just keep in mind how important your mental health is. But that's my no cap. Vinny, you got a no cap?
Yeah, so my no cap would be just don't keep up with the Joneses. Like that like I said, like that's going back to like social media. It's going back to what you see. Like you don't have to. Your goal doesn't have to be I have a Rolex and I'm driving a Lamborghini. You don't what you see. You know what I mean. You don't have to get what you want to get. You know what I mean, because you work hard enough and you get the Rollie, you get a Lambo, and then you're like, dang, I wanted what they had, and I still don't have what I really want. You know what I mean? So get what pursue what you really want. You know what I mean?
Correct. That's what's up. Joe, what's your no cap?
Yeah, first of all, hey, you know how it is. It started raining over here. The internet gone. So
Like, I figured.
I said, yeah, I was listening to. I was all but to. I was like, everything froze, and I was like, fuck. I'm sorry. Well, I said at least I can deliver my no cap. The no cap. I ain't got no cap. So no, I'm not joking. No cap. But I purposely made sure I didn't have a no cap again because this will probably be like the last. This will probably be airing around the end of the mental, health awareness month and everything like that. So my no cap to everybody is just like, you listen to the episode, you've heard tips, things that you've done to help you. So utilize them, And the other part of that, no cap, you're not going through it by yourself. Like, as successful.
That's my no cap. That was.
Oh, for real? Oh man, that's crazy. But nah. But obviously, that I didn't steal it from you because I didn't hear it. But nah,
I respect.
Just you're not going through it by yourself, bro. Like you got three. I think we ain't. In my head, I'm like, we're not where we want to be because that I feel like there's never a threshold for people like us. Like we're always going to achieve to be better, but I think we're pretty successful for our age and what we've overcome and done. You see us, three well put together young men. We ain't got it all together. Shit, I be winging it. I ain't gonna hold you. I'd be like, fuck it, I'm gonna try.
Right?
Yeah.
I understand 100%. Like I'll look at something like this, look good, sound good.
I'd be like, oh, this all right, yeah. But you're not going through it by yourself. And like, we get on here, we tell you guys, we open up to you guys, in front of you guys. But that's also our way of letting y'all know that hey, y'all not alone in these battles, So if you need somebody to talk to, you need somebody to reach out to, we'll be I'm sure that Derek will be dropping Vinny's IG and stuff like that on there. You have our Unfiltered podcast things, and most of you guys know us personally. So reach out to us. We don't have the answers to everything. We can't solve world hunger or the world's problems, but fuck it, we can at least point you in direction someone that can help you or at least listen to you. So I feel like that's a step in the right direction. So no cap, just take care of yourselves. It's been stressful with this pandemic. We ain't got no gas. Just heard there was a chicken shortage. Niggas out here still can get PS5s. It's tough, bro. It's a struggle.
Man.
Yeah. But not me though. I got my PS5. It's in there. Yeah, I'm playing.
I just want to throw out there how you can maybe if y'all can see how much me and Joe has been around each other for too long. We started off the episode. We was going to ask the same question. Joe internet messed up, and we pretty much had the same no cap. So we've been around each other too much already. That's the chemistry right there.
It's crazy though. I was talking to you. I'm gonna just say this as we go. I was talking to your mom. She was talking about how it's so funny about our love-hate relationship. I said that's because we so different on certain things, but me and Derek are so alike when it comes to other shit. And we know each other so well that we know what to say to piss the other one off. And sometimes it's been a long time since one of us have done it.
Yeah.
I take it back. No, I take it back. Like 2 episodes ago, you pissed me off. So I take it back.
Oh, no mind. We're not gonna talk about that. But with that, we come to the conclusion of this episode of Unfiltered Brothers. we definitely appreciate Vinny for joining us for this episode.
Yes, sir. You gotta
Yeah,
come back.
Just dropping
I
his
appreciate y'all.
knowledge. Any closing thoughts you want the listeners to hear, Vinny?
Uh, um, Closing thoughts. I mean, like I said, dream and do it. You know what I mean? That's about it.
Yeah, respect that.
Nothing
But
wrong
yeah,
with
once
that.
again, we definitely appreciate you for taking your time, hopping on this episode with us.
Yes,
But yeah, y'all make sure y'all follow us on social media, Unfiltered Brothers Facebook, Unfiltered Bros Twitter, and Unfiltered Brothers Podcast IG. And you can check out new content on our YouTube every Thursday. So y'all make sure y'all subscribe, and y'all can listen to our regular podcast on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, as well as now you can listen to it on Google Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Cast, as well as Radio Public. So pretty much anywhere that you can listen to podcasts now. So y'all stay blessed, y'all stay safe, take care of y'all mental health, and we out here. Deuces.
sir.